How can I help you?
Hi. So my question basically is, well, a little background with me. I have a really close guy friend, and as we've become better friends, some feelings have started to come up, and my question is, how do you manage
How
that? Because
long? Hold on. How long have you been friends with him?
um, year and a half
Year and a half?
ish.
And
Yes,
and
but we grew closer this year.
casual friends, you see him once every couple of months, or daily friend. You what kind of mix is in there
Um,
of content?
every every couple of weeks in college, kind of a friend group
Ah,
is where we
okay.
met.
And how? So you've been out of college now just a little while.
I just graduated.
Okay. Where'd you graduate from over in South Carolina?
Clemson University.
Go Tigers! My daughter's
Go
at Clemson,
Tigers.
so I'm a big fan.
Awesome.
How about that? Okay, so you've been friends. Now feelings are coming up, and the feelings are coming up. I hope for good reasons, right? You're finding
Yeah,
there's some you like him. You're seeing some qualities you didn't know were there. You enjoy spending time with them. There's some kind of
I guess
chemistry that you feel. All that.
I guess the catch is that they're not really wanted. They just kind of came up. It wasn't, that's kind of the catch there.
Wanted by whom?
Me, because I was like, oh, we're just friends. And then these feelings come up. I'm like, oh my gosh, this, it wasn't, we were just
Who's
being
this
friends and then they came up.
invader that's come? This invader that's coming into my heart, in my head. What's it doing? No, no, get away! Don't want those feelings. Right now, why don't you want them? Generally, those are pleasurable feelings if they're reciprocated. So why don't you want them? Do you? Are you? Have you been hurt before? You're afraid to take the next step, or you don't want to screw up a good friendship, or why don't you want them?
Well, I don't want to screw up the friendship, but the main reason is I'm not looking to pursue that with him because he's not following. He says he's a Christian, but he's not. Um, we're not in the same place spiritually. I think he has some
Yeah.
growing to do, so I just don't even want to go there.
Oh, okay. So if you're firm on that you don't want to go there, then you don't go there, and you just keep
Right.
hanging out and enjoying the enjoying the feelings. You can have feelings that somebody's goodness, is going to bring about in you without
Mhm.
necessarily pursuing them or acting on them. But I got a question: Is he? Do you think he's sharing these same feelings?
That's why I don't know either, and that's why I also wasn't going
Do,
to go there because I don't know.
do you have any indication that he might be? Does he get kind of flirty, or he
Not real. I don't know. I feel like I'm.
has he stood under your window at night and tossed pebbles up there? Has he done that
No,
yet?
no,
Hadn't done that.
no.
Okay. So he's not doing anything that you would interpret as anything that's not like
Mhm.
a friend, right?
Right, like super intentional. I'd be like,
Okay. So you would kind of almost have to say, um, he hasn't given any indication. So as far as I know, he's just still friends like we always
yes. And I guess
were. Okay.
my issue is I am experiencing the anxiety of, oh, I have these feelings. Now I'm overthinking everything I say and do, and that's the stress of it all. I don't feel free to
Awesome.
enjoy the friendship at all.
Oh, I'm loving this. This is so awesome. Do you know what you just described to me? You just described
What?
what you just described, this incredibly safe playground boot camp training experience. Now, think about this. Here's what you've just said. Okay. You just said that you got this guy that you interact with, and he kind of get you off center a little bit, right? Oh, I like him. I want him to like me. Am I, am I on
Mhm.
my best? Am I smart enough today? Am I cute enough today? Am I this enough? Oh no, right? Now, what that tells you is this, that there's a growth step that it's time for you to make, I think. And that is that when there's a part of you that likes somebody, right? And idealizes them in some way. He gets above the rest, right? He kind of,
Mhm.
stands out in the crowd to you. That when you start to feel that, then you start to, because of the anxiety, start to diminish being yourself, right?
Mhm. Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
I want you to get over that. So when the right guy comes along, which generates all those feelings. And by the way, guys are kind of like buses. There's a new one every 15 minutes. So don't worry about that. He's the only one. Okay. But somebody's going to come along, right? And he's going to pique your interest. And I don't want you becoming less of yourself with him. I want you going, oh, I like this guy. I'm going after him in some way, right? You're going to be all of yourself, because then he's going to get to see all of you, and you're going to be much more attractive to him. So what you've got now is, you've already said you're not going to go further with this guy because you don't, there's now, I want you to feel the power in this. There's something about him that doesn't measure up to you. That's not a
Hmm.
judgment. It's just, you've got criteria in your life, and he's got a lot of checking a lot of the boxes, but you're not going to be unequally yoked in your faith. You want somebody that's
Mhm.
growing like you. Okay. So you're not going to go there. Right. So now you're safe. This is a safe playground. Keep interacting with him. And the chief goal here is continue to just practice being yourself and don't worry about it. And I just want you to learn to be comfortable around somebody you're attracted to, is the bottom line. Okay. Now,
Hmm.
if, and I want you to really do that. Like, if you're having a goofy thought that you would say to one of your best friends, I just want you to do it. I want you to climb in your own skin and just be all of yourself. And so the anxiety
Hmm.
will begin to diminish. All right. Now, here's the other thing. Don't get your heart hurt. I mean, if being around him and this, that, and the others, I've seen situations where it just gets too painful and diminishes life and
Hmm.
all that. So, don't do that. Or, and I'm gonna give you option B, and then I got to talk to some other callers. And I wish we could send a camera crew out there to follow you around and watch how you do
Yes.
this,
Oh my
because
gosh.
this would be. I might send my daughter to find you there in Clemson.
Yes.
um, Here's option C. You you could say to him, we've been friends a long time. Have you ever thought about um, dating? I mean, I'm not asking to date. I'm just curious. Has it ever popped in your head? And have a
Hmm.
conversation. And if he says no, say, oh, I kind of wonder, because we do connect a lot and we have fun, and it's just curious that I just always
Hmm.
wonder, why don't we ever think about that? Maybe I'm not your type, or whatever. Just explore the conversation. Now, here's why I say that, because if he goes, well, yeah, actually I have, I've just kind of been scared to ask you, or didn't want to screw up the friendship or whatever,
Hmm.
then you have a conversation. And then here's why I'm saying all this. And then you could say, well, I think you'd be fun to date, but have you ever noticed how we're on kind of different spiritual paths? So I don't really know if it would
Hmm.
go. I don't think it could go anywhere. I'm not judging you, but you know, some people are really into sports and other people hate sports, and they don't do well together if it's going to be an issue. But I'm really
Right.
into my faith and growing, and it seems like you're on a different path. But I'd love to know more about how you look at your faith, and you get in those conversations. So
Hmm.
I think you've
Right.
got a world of fun playground here to hang out
Oh.
in.
Yeah.
Make sure, though, I want you go read my book, How to Get a Date Worth Keeping, and I want you making sure you're hanging out with and becoming friends and interacting with and going out with a lot of other guys. because that's going to
Mm.
keep him from having too much power. Okay.
Mm. Okay.
I'm so glad you called.
Thank you.
Fun thing to work on. Okay. This is the Dr. Cloud Show. Um, you know, I just, I love all of our callers. We have great calls, but lately we've got so many fun dating calls because dating, as you know, I've written a couple of books on it because it's a real issue out there. But it can be such an incredible growth experience and learning what lots of different kinds of people are like and what you're like. See, Hannah's just learned something. She's learned with this guy that when she starts to like somebody, she starts to get anxious and becomes less of herself. Do you know, and you can read the book, that's one of the things I talk about in the book, that a lot of times, have you picture this? How many times have you known a group of friends, men or women, small group, and they're all, they're like a little squad, and there's one of them that just they all love, and this person's incredible, but for some reason they never get asked out, or they never, like nothing ever happens, and everybody else loves it, going, "You would be a perfect catch," and all this kind of stuff. Well, that's one of the areas I researched when I wrote this book. And what you find is when you follow them out there, which we did, they're different when they meet somebody that they kind of might be interested in. They're different than they are when they're with their squad. They kind of shut down. There's less of their personality that comes out. Said in another way, they're not showing up with the parts of them that would attract somebody, even though they have all of those parts. And so what we got to do sometimes is learn to fill up your skin. I mean, you've got this you, but if your parts of you are getting diminished and hidden down here in this wee little corner of your brain, and you don't ever let that personality come out, why is anybody going to want to go out with you? Not because you're not wonderful, but because they never saw that you were wonderful, because the anxiety was diminishing your relational interaction patterns. And sometimes that happens where somebody becomes too passive. So who's going to be attracted to a passive person? A control freak. A control freak's not going to be attracted to somebody that has good boundaries. They don't want to hear no. So when we start adapting who we are to who someone else is, then we cease to become ourselves. And even if it, God forbid, the relationship would work, that's not going to work because at some point, this other person's going to show up. You're going to go, "Hi, I was hiding. I do have an opinion," and control freak's not going to like that. Or the detached person's not going to like that all of a sudden, now you really do have needs. See, whenever we become someone else than who we are to make something work, it is not sustainable. We can do that for a short term, and we have to do that for short term sometimes. Okay? Sometimes extended family, companies that do this, businesses, certain customers, or whatever. As they used to say in the South where I grew up, you got to grin like a mule eating briars. We changed those like this. Well, you're you're putting on that smile, and maybe it's not your favorite place to be, but you can play a role for a purpose for a while for a good reason. But when that role becomes not a moment, I mean, if you're in a bad mood and you got to go serve customers, yeah, you got to put on the mask. You got to be happy to help people that day. But if you can't go home and be sick after the day's over, then you're not going to get well either. So people do this in careers. Their family wants them to be a certain thing. So they try to deny for so long what they really want to be doing to please Uncle Harry or mom or grandma or somebody. That's not who they are. And all I'm saying is you can't be someone else in a sustainable way long term. Now, that doesn't mean that all of ourself is something we would want to be. That's the other side of the equation. I mean, you hear, you know, some people will, they'll get a crush on someone. I can't deny myself. I can't deny my feelings. And they go, act out and jettison their families or whatever. So, I don't mean you got to go live and follow all of your passions and all of your dreams. Some of them are sick. But in the fundamental aspects of who you are, be who you are. It's who God made you to be. That's what you want somebody to know and to love, who you really are. Okay.